In this episode, we will talk about the pre launch preparations and the role of medical affairs. Before we start, let's answer this question. What is the optimal timing for medical affairs involvement in the pre launch preparations? The involvement of medical affairs in the pre launch preparation of a pharmaceutical product is a pivotal element that should start as early as the drug development life cycle. The precise timing of this engagement, the engagement of medical affairs, can vary based on factors such as the nature of the product, the intricacies of the disease area, and the regulatory environment. However, there are distinct phases where the involvement of medical affairs is particularly crucial. First, during the early clinical development phase, ideally around phase 2 of clinical trials, or even at the conclusion of phase 1, medical affairs should begin their contributions. At this juncture, they can provide a lot of insights into the design of the clinical trials, ensuring that the trials address unmet medical needs and that the endpoints of these studies resonate with both the healthcare professionals and patients. Early involvement of medical affairs also facilitates a deeper understanding of the therapeutic landscape, allowing for the initial identification of key stakeholders and unmet medical needs. As the product progresses into phase 3 clinical trials, we enter the late clinical development phase, and this period is very important for strategic planning, and medical affairs should be deeply involved in interpreting interim data, refining products' value proposition, and preparing for initial engagements with key opinion leaders and advisory boards. Additionally, this phase involves the development of scientific communication strategies, including the planning of publications and the creation of medical education materials. During the regulatory submission phase, as the product undergoes the regulatory review, medical affairs should be preparing for potential inquiries from the regulatory authorities and planning for various post-approval scenarios. This is also the time to finalize training materials for internal teams, including the commercial and customer services, ensuring alignment with the overarching commercial strategy. Once the product is approved, medical affairs transitions into post-launch mode, but must continue to adapt pre-launch strategies based on real-world feedback, emerging data, and evolving market dynamics. This continuous adaptation post-approval is crucial for maintaining the relevance and effectiveness of the product in the market. Several key considerations can influence the involvement of medical affairs and its timing. Regulatory environment is one of those considerations. The specific timing and activities might vary based on the regulatory environment in different countries or regions. Therapeutic area complexity is another important consideration. The more complex or specialized the therapeutic area, this might necessitate earlier and more intensive medical affairs involvement. The third consideration is the organizational structure. In some organizations, medical affairs might be involved earlier or more intensively, depending on how the organization values and integrates the function. In conclusion, medical affairs should be involved early and consistently throughout the drug development process, with their activities intensifying as the product approaches its anticipated launch date. Early and sustained involvement of medical affairs allows medical affairs to understand the product, the disease area more, and the market landscape and dynamics. And this will ensure that they are well prepared to effectively support the product's journey to market and its subsequent performance in the real world, ultimately contributing to the improved patient care and outcomes. Pre-launch preparations are a pivotal phase in the life cycle of any pharmaceutical product. During this critical time before the launch, medical affairs teams engage in extensive strategic planning to ensure their activities are perfectly aligned with the overall launch strategy and objectives. This alignment is crucial to meet the regulatory requirements, fulfill the healthcare providers and patients' needs, and also achieve the commercial goals. Here is a comprehensive exploration of the strategic planning process undertaken by medical affairs during the pre-launch preparations. The strategic planning in this area starts by understanding the therapeutic landscape, disease and patient insights, as well as the competitive analysis. When it comes to disease and patient insight, medical affairs begins with an in-depth understanding of the disease area, prevailing treatment paradigms, unmet medical needs, patient journeys. This foundational knowledge is very important for all subsequent strategic decisions. When it comes to competitive analysis, by analyzing competitors and anticipating future market trends, medical affairs can strategically position the product and distinguish it from others in the market. Then we come to the phase where defining strategic objectives is critical. And this involves aligning with the company goals as well as setting specific targets. When it comes to the alignment with the organizational goals, objectives set by medical affairs must resonate with the broader company goals, whether it's achieving market penetration, addressing unmet needs, or establishing a new standard of care. Setting specific targets is also important. The objectives here are crafted to be specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant, and also time-bound, focusing on critical areas such as awareness creation, education, and stakeholder engagement. What follows is the stakeholder mapping and engagement, which started early before the approval. This includes identification of the key stakeholders and engagement strategies for each group of stakeholders. Identification of key stakeholders includes healthcare professionals, payers, patient advocacy groups, regulatory bodies, internal stakeholders like commercial and regulatory, for example, and putting a strategy or developing a plan to engage each stakeholder group effectively, determining the messages to convey to each stakeholder group, and selecting the appropriate channels to reach those customers. This might involve scientific publications, medical educational programs, advisory boards, and one-to-one meetings. And then the medical affairs should start the scientific communication plan. And this includes the publication strategies and the educational material development. The publication strategy, timing, channels, and content of the scientific publication are planned in the pre-launch period to build a robust, credible body of evidence around this product that is coming. Educational material development starts by crafting the materials for healthcare professionals and for patients and effectively communicating these materials to convey the product's benefits, risks, and proper usage. Then the phase of clinical development and real world evidence within the market. This includes supporting ongoing trials, where medical affairs provides input into ongoing clinical trials to ensure they are robust and address relevant clinical questions. And then planning post launch strategies, where medical should design studies to gather additional real world evidence post the launch, which is increasingly important for payers and healthcare providers nowadays. After this, we come to the stage where internal alignment and training needs to be enforced. Cross functional collaboration is very important to ensure that medical affairs strategies are synchronized with those of other departments when it comes to the launch, such as commercial, regulatory, and market access. Training of internal teams is also very important and should start in this phase by educating commercial teams, customer services, and other internal teams that will be involved after the launch. The education here is about the scientific aspects of the clinical benefits of the product, where those colleagues in commercial, regulatory, customer services can be able to do their job. Regulatory and market access preparation is also another stage or another function that can take place in this era or in this period. Health outcome research, data generation, producing health economics and outcome research data to facilitate market access and reimbursement, and also the regulatory support to ensure that scientific communication and promotional materials comply with regulatory standards. The second step, or the additional step that can take place during the pre launch era, is the risk management and mitigation. And this includes identifying potential risks, evaluating the potential risks associated with the product launch, including scientific, regulatory, and commercial risks, and then developing a mitigation strategy, formulating plans to mitigate these risks, whether through additional studies, targeted communication, or other methodologies. The final stage that should take, or the final action or step that can take place before the launch, is setting metrics and KPIs for the launch. And this involves defining what success looks like and also the continuous monitoring and adjustment strategy. When it comes to defining success, the medical affairs team should establish clear metrics and key performance indicators to measure the success of medical affairs activities and their alignment with the overall launch objectives. About the continuous monitoring and alignment and adjustment, regular reviewing and adjusting strategies based on these metrics and the evolving market dynamics and feedback. Strategic planning in medical affairs is an all encompassing process that forms the foundation of a successful product launch. By aligning their activities with the overall launch strategy and objectives, medical affairs teams ensure they are paving the way for the product's long term success and a positive impact on patient care. This phase, the pre launch phase, is about foresight, preparation, and setting a clear path forward, all of which are essential for navigating the complex and dynamic landscape of pharmaceutical product launches. Let's talk more about stakeholder mapping and engagement for the pre launch preparations by medical affairs. In the journey of bringing a pharmaceutical product to the market, The pre-launch phase emerges as a critical period where meticulous planning and strategic foresight are pivotal in influencing the product's success. At the core of this phase lies the role of a medical affairs team whose expertise and activities are instrumental in steering the product towards a successful launch. A fundamental aspect of their responsibility is the stakeholder mapping and engagement. This process involves a detailed identification, understanding, and strategic interaction with various groups of stakeholders and individuals who have a vested interest in the product's success. Let's explore how medical affairs teams navigate the complex yet critical area of key opinion leader engagement during a launch phase. The process begins with identifying key stakeholders, and these are individuals and groups whose influence and involvement are critical for the product's success. Healthcare professionals are the frontline users of the product, and their adoption and endorsements are very important. Or key opinion leaders in the medical community can sway opinions and practices with their insights and support. Regulatory authorities oversee the product's approval and continued monitoring, making their requirements and compliance non negotiable. In addition to all these groups, there are the internal stakeholders from various departments within the pharmaceutical organization, like commercial, regulatory, and others, marketing, of course, and they must also work in harmony for the successful launch. Once the stakeholders are identified, understanding their needs and interests is very important, and this involves conducting some sort of research to gather data and insights into what each stakeholder group expects from the product and from the communication, and what concerns they might have. Direct engagement allows for conversations with stakeholders to hear directly from them, understand their viewpoints, and measure the value they seek from the new product. With a clear understanding of who the stakeholders are and what they need, medical affairs teams can then develop a tailored engagement plan. This involves prioritization, recognizing that not all stakeholders are created equal and focusing efforts where they will have the most impact. A customized approach is crafted for engagement strategies that resonate with each stakeholder group, and clear, consistent, and compliant messages are developed to address the specific concerns and needs of each stakeholder group. Engagement is more than just planning, it's about action. Key activities include engaging with key opinion leaders through advisory boards to gain insights and advice, sharing data and evidence through scientific publications and presentations, providing comprehensive education to healthcare professionals about the product and its use, and offering personalized engagement through one-to-one meetings to address specific needs and questions. Successful engagement is about building long-term relationships. This requires consistency and transparency in regularly communicating with stakeholders and providing them with up-to-date, accurate information. Responsiveness to feedback and willingness to adapt strategies in response are also crucial. The market and stakeholder needs are non-static, so medical affairs teams must implement feedback mechanisms to continuously gather and analyze stakeholder feedback and continuously improve, adapting and refining strategies based on this feedback in order to remain relevant and effective. Throughout all these activities, maintaining ethical standards and regularly regulatory compliance is non negotiable, ensuring that all activities meet the standards set by regulatory bodies and identifying and managing any potential conflicts that might arise are essential. That is to say, stakeholder mapping and engagement are dynamic, ongoing processes that require attention, dedication, and adaptability. Medical affairs teams, with their unique position and expertise, are ideally suited to lead these efforts. And by effectively identifying, understanding, and engaging with stakeholders, they can ensure that the product not only will meet the market's needs but also has the potential to significantly improve patient care and outcomes. This is not just about launching the product, it's about setting the stage for its long term success, as we mentioned before. So, I hope this covers the stakeholder mapping and engagement for the pre launch preparation by medical affairs. As the launch date of the pharmaceutical product draws near, the role of medical affairs team becomes increasingly pivotal. This period is marked by a need for effective resource allocation and a comprehensive approach to training and development, ensuring the team is prepared to support the product's market entry. Let's explore how medical affairs teams navigate these crucial pre launch preparations. The journey begins with the human resources. Expert recruitment is essential, with the team comprising individuals who bring expertise in the therapeutic area, regulatory affairs, clinical development, and health economics. But it's not just about individual expertise, it's also about fostering collaboration and unified approach. This, this is where forming cross-functional teams become vital, integrating professionals from medical, marketing, commercial, and regulatory departments. Financial planning is another cornerstone of pre launch preparations, allocating a budget for the key activities such as key opinion leader engagements, training programs, scientific conferences, and publication costs requires a strategic approach. Regular cost benefit analysis ensure that the resources are being used effectively and adjustments are made to maximize the impact. Time management is equally crucial. Developing detailed timelines for all pre launch activities, including stakeholder engagement, material development, and training sessions, helps keep the team on track. Prioritizing tasks ensures that efforts are focused on activities that will have the greatest impact on launch success. Training is a multifaceted process. It starts with ensuring all team members have a deep understanding of the product, its mechanism of action, clinical data, and safety profile. But it doesn't stop there. Ongoing education about the disease state, current treatment landscape, and unmet medical needs is vital for keeping the team informed and effective. Developing communication skills is another key aspect of training. Team members must be able to convey complex scientific information clearly and persuasively. This is part of the medical competencies. Understanding the regulatory environment and being trained on compliance with all relevant guidelines and laws is also a very critical manner. Engagement strategies form a significant part of the training. Team members learn how to identify, map, and engage with various stakeholders, including healthcare professionals, key opinion leaders, payers, and patients. Preparing the team to handle potential issues or questions that may arise during the launch is also an important part of this training. Internal collaboration is encouraged through cross functional training, facilitating understanding and collaboration between medical affairs and other departments such as commercial, marketing, and regulatory. Role specific training ensures that each member understands their responsibilities and how they contribute to the overall strategy. Feedback mechanisms are implemented to allow the team to continuously improve and adapt their strategies. Providing access to journals, conferences, and online courses ensures that the team is always updated on the latest scientific and industry developments. That is to say, as medical affairs team navigate the complex landscape of pre-launch preparations, their focus on resource allocation, training, and development is not just about ensuring successful product launch, it's about setting the stage for ongoing success, ensuring the team is prepared not just for today's set challenges, but for the evolving landscape of tomorrow's healthcare industry.